Hey, what is going on, hockey fans? John Chik with Locked On New York Rangers here to talk about the 5 things that you need to know about the New York Rangers for the 2022-2023 season. Thing one, we got to start with Igor Shesterkin, coming off of a season where, best goalie in the league. That was confirmed by the Vezina that he won. Obviously, he put up just ridiculous video game-like numbers. You can go by the eye test, you can go by the stats, you can go by pretty much anything you want. And for all intents and purposes, he was the best goalie in the league. And I think that the Rangers, as far as Stanley Cup hopes go for this upcoming season, Igor Shesterkin going to be the ultimate X factor. I'm still a big believer that goalies have a lot to do with your success once you get to the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know in recent years, there's kind of been a little bit of a shift as far as the thinking there is concerned, at least on the part of some. But for me, goalies are big time in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think Igor Shesterkin, much like Henrik Lundqvist did for 15 years or however long it was, Igor Shesterkin against just about any opponent going to give the Rangers a big leg up on whoever they're playing in the playoffs. So Igor Shesterkin, you got to start with him. Very, very excited to see what he can do for an encore after he won his first Vezina, what we hope will be the first of many Vezina trophies, at least if you're a New York Ranger fan. Thing two, Rangers, despite this big playoff run this past season and despite the success that they had and looking like one of the better teams in hockey, still a very young team. You look at the roster right now, and it's very likely that the opening night roster, you're only going to have 2 players over the age of 31. And that would be Ryan Reeves, who's obviously just, a fourth line enforcer and somebody that might be in and out of the lineup this season as a healthy scratch. And the other one is Yaroslav Halak, who's the backup goalie and will probably play pretty sparingly. So it is still a very young team, but it's a team that grew by leaps and bounds this past season, cleaned up a lot of the deficiencies in their game, stopped taking bad penalties, at least at the clip that they had been in recent seasons, and really just came together. It's a young, energetic group. Seems like a very close-knit bunch as well. These guys truly care about each other. You can watch it just by, going by the eye test. I know that, there's a lot of modern stats that people tend to fixate on, but there's no substitute for good team chemistry. I'm a big believer in that, regardless of the sport, particularly in a sport, though, like hockey, that's such a physically and mentally demanding sport. It's absolutely huge. Rangers are a young team. They're a team that's very much together. And I think they showed that, winning their first 5 win-or-go-home games in the playoffs this past season before finally, falling to the Tampa Bay Lightning. But a young team, a very tight-knit bunch as well. Thing 3, the defenseman. Rangers right now, I would say probably have, and this is with all due respect to all the other teams in the league, because there's some great teams and some great defensemen out there. I would put the Rangers' top 4 defensemen up against any other quartet in the NHL. And to just kind of run through them one by one here, you've got Adam Fox. What can you even say? The guy's just an absolutely phenomenal defenseman in every sense of the term. There's no holes in his game. Won the Norris 2 years ago, a top 5 finish this past season. Was absolutely outstanding in the playoffs as well. So, Adam Fox, to me, the gold standard of NHL defenseman right now. You've got Ryan Lindgren, who plays with Fox. Very nice compliment to Fox. Lindgren, kind of the rugged, old school throwback defenseman, does a lot of hitting. He'll mix it up. Just somebody that I think, I referred to him as the heart and soul of this team because when he came back in the Pittsburgh series last year, Game 5, that entire series swung. They stopped the Crosby line a little bit, and Lindgren had a big hand in doing so. So Lindgren's awesome. You got Jacob Trouba, obviously, just named the Ranger team captain, somebody that has emerged as a leader, as a physical tone setter, and somebody that can give you a little bit of everything. And then K'Andre Miller, for me, I said this during the playoff run last year, present tense, K'Andre Miller is a superstar. And even if you don't necessarily think that he's at that level just yet, he's right there. He's right on the cusp of superstardom. Thing 4, the Rangers need more from the kids. So obviously, the kid line in the playoffs last year, it was a lot of fun. They had some lines where they were the best line on the ice, whether it's the Rangers or the team that they were playing. They gave the Rangers some energy. They gave the Rangers a spark, but they overall will need more from certainly Alexis Lafrenière and Kaapo Kakko, and to a lesser extent also Philip Chytil and Vitaly Kravtsov. Lafrenière and Kakko really stand out because they were the first and second picks overall in the draft, respectively. And whereas last year it was kind of a luxury when the Rangers got something big from Lafrenière and Kakko, this year they're going to need it because, obviously Ryan Strome left in free agency, and all the players that the Rangers brought in as rentals turned out to be just that. They were rentals. Guys like Andrew Kopp, Frank Vetrano, Tyler Mott, they're all gone. And so the door's wide open for Lafrenière and Kakko to claim bigger roles and probably have both of them the best season that they've ever had. And obviously, if the Rangers are going to take that next step where, they are legitimately a threat to win the Stanley Cup, it probably needs to be Lafrenière and Kakko who step up more than anybody this upcoming season. Thing 5, Chris Drury. Definitely keep an eye on him. You look at the trade deadline this past season, even when it happened, before the Rangers went on that crazy playoff run and did all the things that they did, I thought that the Rangers, maybe along with teams like the Avalanche and the Panthers, were the biggest winners of the trade deadline season. I mean, Drury pretty much at the 0 hour goes out and gets Andrew Kopp, he gets Tyler Mott, he gets Justin Braun. He had previously acquired Frank Vatrano, and all those players played significant roles for the Rangers down the stretch, as well as the playoffs as well. And I just think that, with the Rangers now owning 2 first-round picks for this upcoming season, you could see a situation where the Rangers truly go all in near the trade deadline. So you are now fully in the know about the 2022-2023 New York Rangers. Be sure to subscribe to Locked On New York Rangers for free wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube to keep up with the Blue Shirts all season long.